when you have like a lot of money coming in, it does give you a place to put your money so you can make more money off that money. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Hey Wealth Web fam, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Pretty, and on this channel I talk about how you can build wealth by using the web. I am a 7-figure Amazon seller, and on this channel I talk about how you can grow your Amazon business. So if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about private label versus wholesale, what these two are and which model is better. Now you guys know I'm a private label seller, but I am going to be dabbling in wholesale, and I just want to give you guys the pros and cons and the honest truth about private label and wholesale. So what is private label? Well, private label is really commonly associated with selling on Amazon. Private label is basically you finding a product, putting your own branding and logo on it, and bringing it to the Amazon market as your own privately labeled brand slash product. Now, wholesale is basically buying someone else's product from a supplier and selling it on Amazon. Now, you can buy a ton of product from a wholesale supplier at a cheaper cost and make, usually 10 to 15% margins on a wholesale product. Now, what is the difference between both and which one do I recommend? So I want to talk about the pros and cons because both models have pros and cons associated with them. Wholesale, let's talk about the pros first because I love the pros, and then we'll get into the cons, and then we'll get into private label. And at the end, I'll tell you how you can get started with both of these models, okay? So number one pro of wholesale, you get to just buy a product from a wholesale supplier, and you don't have to create your own product or brand or any of that. It's definitely simple. Pro number two, it's just a less time commitment. You buy the product, you resell it. You're not having to, market, run ads, do PPC, brand your product, contact the manufacturer, and all that stuff like private label. You're gonna resell on Amazon, and the listings are usually great. Like, they're really fast movers. You're able to just buy the product and immediately sell a lot of it, especially if you find the right listing and if you find fast moving products. That's definitely what you want to do, find fast moving products if you're trying to get into wholesale. You want great rank, you want a great listing, and that's the whole point of wholesale, is buying a lot of products for a great listing and then reselling that. So con number one of wholesale, it does require a lot of money to get started. I would say $5,000 to $10,000 is necessary. Number two, it's so hard to get a relationship going with a wholesale supplier that will actually sell to you. Okay, usually they don't like Amazon sellers. They would rather sell to stores or people who they know that they're going to constantly buy more product and stuff. So it's hard as a small Amazon seller to build relationships, but you definitely can do it. It just takes a lot of legwork. And what you have to do is start locally. I live in San Francisco, so I'm really blessed to be in a huge city, and I have found wholesale suppliers in my area that I've talked to. And what you want to do is send a really good email out and then follow up. If you get a response from that email, you want to hop on the phone with them and then start talking about how you are a e-commerce distributor, and you want to use words like distributor and not seller. And it's a lot of language, and it's a lot of trying. You're going to get denied 90% of the time when it comes to wholesale, but once you open a few accounts, take a look at some catalogs, and people turn around and actually give you the opportunity because you are super persistent, it's going to pay off. Okay, so those are the cons of wholesale. It requires a lot of money to start up. It can be hard to build a relationship with actual suppliers. And lastly, you're not really building an asset. So it's not like you're building a company or a brand, you're just reselling products. I do want to talk a little bit about buy box as well. And that can be a con for wholesale because there's a lot of sellers that are doing exactly what you're going to be doing as a wholesale reseller. You're going to be buying product from wholesale suppliers and reselling it. So the buy box can be competitive. And what I mean by that is if there's a lot of people on the listing selling that product, prices do tank. You can lose a lot of money that way. So what you want to be, aware of is finding a product and reading the graphs and making sure that you find a solid product where there's no price tanking or it hasn't happened in the past very much, and that you can quickly move products. Okay, so buy box is competitive when it comes to wholesale as well, and I just want you to be aware of that. But I do love wholesale, guys, because it does give you, when you have like a lot of money coming in, it does give you a place to put your money so you can make more money off that money. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing very, very soon, and I'm excited to share that with you guys as well. But you guys know I'm a private label seller. I love private label. That's how I started. You guys know I'm a 7-figure private label seller, and the pros of private label are extremely amazing. Private label is so powerful because, again, you can make your own product, build a brand around it, market, and all that stuff, and then ultimately sell your brand later down the road for millions of dollars. Whereas wholesale, you know, you do have to have a lot of upfront capital. You have to have a lot of upfront capital with private label too. Not a whole bunch, but like for wholesale, it's a lot more because you have to purchase a bulk order of product, and then you have to sell that product and you make a profit on that. But it isn't something that is your product, it's someone else's product. It's like a Neutrogena or a Olay or something like that, like a product that's already big on the market, and you're basically just trying to make a small profit by selling it, by reselling it to people on Amazon. Private label, number one, you get to build an asset, you get to build a business, you get to build a brand that you can later sell for millions down the road. Another thing that I love about private label and is a definite pro is that it is easier to scale because there isn't like a lot of competition, because again, it's your own brand. There's gonna be competition in the niche, but it still is easier to scale because you can order more product as the demand grows for your private label product. And you can run PPC and just market a lot more versus wholesale. It's already, the marketing and everything's already done for you because you're just selling someone else's product. Example, Neutrogena, Olay. I talked a little bit about the buy box for the con for a wholesale. Now, a pro for private label is that the buy box is guaranteed to be yours because no one else is going to be selling your product. You are going to be the only seller. So you have buy box advantage. I mean, it's your buy box. So that's also a pro of private label. Now, there are cons to private label, guys. Of course, there's cons because, again, building your brand is not easy. There is a requirement of a decent amount of capital up front. It could be anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, $10,000. You know, I did start with just $1,000, and you can absolutely do that. It's just a little harder because it can take time to rank on page one, or it can take time to rank in general, or you might not rank. So it is risky. And that's definitely a con. So it's risky. It does require a decent amount of capital to start. It can be hard to build a brand. And also you do have to invest in marketing and PPC and branding in general. Okay. So private label is not easy. And I say this all the time, but once you get private label right, it can set you up for life. Now, another con of private label, and I've even had this for my own brand, is that there's a lot of copycat brands. So like, let's say you have an innovative product idea, you know, people are going to come in and copy you because you paved that path, and people want to profit as well. So there are, you know, a lot of copycats that do come on, but again, if you have Amazon brand registry, you do get a little protection. Obviously, Amazon's not going to like take anyone's listing off, but if they're plagiarizing your stuff, or if they're like directly copying your product and your logo and everything, you can contact Amazon under brand registry and they will like send them notices and all of that. Overall, guys, I do love private label. I think the pros of private label are just so awesome. You guys know, once you get a private label product set up and you start getting sales for it, it's very passive almost because you did all of the hard work up front. All you have to do is, you know, call, text your manufacturer, hey, I need another 1,000 units sent into Amazon, send that wire transfer. Those boxes are getting into Amazon, and you sit back and relax, see your bank account go up in funds, which is amazing, beautiful, love it. Now, which one do I like more? I definitely have to say that I'm a private label girl, and I love private label, but wholesale is also a great opportunity. If you are doing really well in private label and you have extra money, you can definitely start flipping some very, you know, profitable products from wholesale. Like, you can find a great wholesale supplier, get those products, invest that 10 grand into that product, and make 10 to 15% margins, maybe even 20% margins on that product. And, you know, you just made an extra few $1,000s, which is great. Instead of having your money parked in, like, I don't know, something else. It just gives you more and more and more the opportunity to grow. So I absolutely love both models. If you want to get started with wholesale, you have to go online, look for wholesale suppliers in your local area. If you don't find that, you can go, and look at online wholesale suppliers. There definitely are a lot of resources. If you want to get started with private label, subscribe to the channel. You guys know I talk about private label extensively on this channel. And if you need help finding a product, which is literally the key to succeeding on Amazon, check out this video right here where I talk about how you can find a product to sell on Amazon.